Hi students, it's your iLab teachers. We really miss seeing you in school and we hope that you're doing well at home distance learning. We've been talking to your teachers and we've heard that you've been studying electricity. We wanted to show you a new way that you can experiment with light bulbs and batteries and other tools at home and test to see if they work. So we are going to actually be using Tinkercad. I know you've used Tinkercad before in school, but you've mainly used it to make 3D designs that we can print out on the 3D printers. Well, there's a whole nother component to Tinkercad that has to do with electricity and circuitry. So once you open your web browser, I want you to type in what you see at the top of the screen, tinkercad.com. Once that loads, you're going to go right here to sign in, and you're going to sign in with Google. You're going to type in your PC credentials, your first name dot last name at pinecrest.edu, and then type in your password. Once you log in, you'll see on the left-hand side, you should see your name, and you've used right here the 3D designs portion. Well, we are going to click on the circuits portion. So I want you to click circuits and then create new circuit. Once your new project is created, you'll see a very silly name they've given your project in the top left-hand corner. So we are going to rename your project. For this example, I'm going to put my first name and my last name, and then I'm going to put my homeroom teacher's first letter of their last name. So for example, if I'm in Miss Howe's class, I'm going to put H dash and then my student number. So I'm going to pretend that I am number 23. You can always go back and change your name later. Once you have named your project, I want you to look on the right side of your screen, and these are the components that you can use to build your circuit. Here are your basic components, and then you can go to the drop-down menu and change to all components. I want to use something today that's not in the basic components, so I want you to click all. And then we're going to scroll down. You're going to see some things that you've seen before in real life that you're familiar with, and some things you're not quite familiar with yet. Today, we're going to do a very basic overview, but in the future this week, we are going to be using a few different components. So I want you to scroll down and you see light bulb. In order to drag that component onto the screen, you're just going to click it and drag it over. I want to do 2 light bulbs right now, so I'm going to bring my 2 light bulbs over. Then I need to search for my power source. You guys have been using batteries in class, so we are going to stick with that. If I keep scrolling down, you'll see a power section. We have a 9-volt battery option, a 1.5-volt battery, and a coin cell battery. For today, I want you to drag over a 1.5-volt battery. You'll see that this battery is a AA. In the future, we're going to play with this drop-down menu right here. You can change how many batteries you have. So let's say I want to do 3 batteries. I'm going to go back to 1. You can change from AA to AAA. And you also have the option later on to add an on-off switch. For today's purposes, I want you to do no for switch and keep it at 1 AA battery. If you want, you can zoom in and out of your project by putting 2 fingers on the keyboard and then opening and closing them. You can also click your screen and drag it to a new location. So I am going to zoom in a little more. The next feature I want to show you is the rotate feature. You're gonna, this is gonna come in handy for you when you're trying to move around your components and build different circuits. So if you click on your component, like I click on the battery, you'll see right here in the top left below the Tinkercad waffle, the rotate button. Every time I click that, my component is going to rotate just a little more. I'm going to have my battery go this way for today, and then I'm going to take my light bulb, maybe rotate that a little. I'm going to build a little series circuit, so I'm going to rotate that light bulb this way. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about is inserting wires. You'll see on each of your components, you have little terminals. If I drag my mouse over them, here I have a negative terminal, a positive, and on my light bulbs, they're just named terminal 1 and terminal 2. We know that we have to use our wire and we have to have them touch each terminal in order for the electricity to flow through. So to start creating a wire, you need to drag your mouse over one of the terminals. So I am going to drag my mouse over the negative terminal. In order to make sure that your wire is connected to the terminal, you need to make sure you see that red square above it. I'm going to click on that terminal, and then you'll see a wire is starting to form. Now I can have my wire straight, or I can make it go in different directions. In order to make it curved, you're just going to drag your mouse and click, 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 so you can form your wire to go whichever direction you want it to go. If I want to connect it to this first terminal on the light bulb, I'm again going to drag my mouse over and make sure that I see that red square that indicates where the terminal is. So I'm going to click, and then I know it's connected. You'll see in the drop-down menu that you have the option to change the color of your wire. In the future, I'm going to have you designate certain colors for positive and negative, but for today's purposes, you can just keep your wire all one color. Okay, I want another wire to come out of the other terminal in the light bulb, so I'm going to make sure my mouse is over that. Click terminal 2. I want it to be a little curved, so I'm going to click a few times, make sure my mouse is over this terminal 1, and click. Probably the coolest feature of Tinkercad circuits is the ability to simulate or test your circuit. So you are going to go up here and you'll see the option to start simulation. That is going to tell you if your circuit is complete and if it actually works. So if I click start simulation, I see that nothing's happening. My light bulbs are not lighting up. That means that my circuit is not complete and I have a little more work to do. Using what I know about series circuits, I know that my circuit has to be complete and that the wire has to go all the way around and connect to the other side of the battery. So I'm going to create a third wire. I'm going to hold my mouse over terminal 2 and connect it right to the other battery terminal. Now I'm going to test again to see if it works. Oh, awesome. I've seen that my light bulbs have lit up. That means that my circuit is complete.